It's the 27th of the 5th, 2026. I've had to do this recording quite a few times because I keep messing it up because I'm getting confused on what to say because it's 28 degrees Celsius. I'm soaking wet in sweat, but I need to get through this the best I can. If there's any mistakes, I do apologise. I'll correct them as I go along because I'm not doing very well with this today. I want to start with psychic readings I had in late April or the beginning of May. The ones I saw in person initially. The psychic said I was going to get a girlfriend called Olive in the middle of this month. We're at the end of this month now, and I was told that it's going to be before the first couple of days of June, so basically before June. And there's only a few days left before we reach June. Olive is described as being a young lady, pretty, in her early 20s to mid-20s, a brunette, slim to medium build, and basically sexy looking, is the best way to put it. That's what the psychic said. Now, apparently, she knew about my life going downhill. She says it's definitely going to get worse. But when this Olive comes into your life, that's going to put a stop to all the problems, and you're going to be rewarded for what you've been through and what you've had to suffer through, right through your whole life, basically. And the fact that I've never had anyone. I was also told that if I'm thinking of moving, it's advisable to wait until I'm with this Olive, because she said that my life's going to get very tricky, could end up in very dangerous situations, or it could even be extremely dangerous if I was to move on my own, and saying that it's not going to turn out good, and told me you need to stay there. She said that she can't tell me what to do. You've got your own life, you can make your own decision, but she did warn me it's not a good idea to move, and she didn't really want to say that to me, but she had to warn me because how dangerous it could have got if I did move. So I've got to bear that in mind as well. But the problem is, now Olive hasn't come into my life and it's been taken away from me, or it's gone to somebody else, or someone's deliberately messed it up, I'm not a very happy person, because I don't know what my days ahead is going to look like. So this is really, really bad. Anyway, on that day, I saw I saw a clairvoyant after the psychic. So I'd like the spirit reading. I'm not sure if if the clairvoyant is psychic or not, because she just gave me a tarot reading. She didn't mention anything about the girlfriend, but she did say, from the middle of this month onwards, your life is going to get a lot better from the miserable past that you've had to go through, and all the negativity that you've had to face from enemies, people, being stopped from getting sex and all that sort of stuff. Now, she didn't mention anything about getting sex or getting a girlfriend, but it went in line to what the psychic told me when she predicted that girlfriend called Olive. Now, a couple of days later, I'm not sure how many days it is now because I've forgotten, I got pissed one night and I decided to do an online reading. And there was a psychic in America, which I paid 20 quid to get a reading from. So I had to give my date of birth, my name, and take a photograph of me, of what I look like at this minute in time. She was quick to reply because I got the message in the morning. On that morning I had a hangover, so I didn't get to read the message until the evening. She told me exactly the same as what the psychic told me about getting this Olive. However, she gave another name as well called Flo. No, she's not entirely sure whether that's a nickname or vice versa or whatever, but it's linked to Olive. And I was told that's going to be my partner. And they said it was set in stone, and they said it's not going to fall through. Like I said, there is a few days left before this actually falls through. But I'm pretty sure at this point, or this stage in time, they've deliberately put it through. So that's got to be replaced. The damage it's done's got to be replaced, and it's got to be replaced with a similar attraction and suggestion, lady and age of what has been taken from me, because I'm not very happy about this at all. Right, I want to go to more subjects. This issue of claiming that I molested Sadie has just gone on the increase. It's just gone slammed into my face like anything, threatening to weapon me down, claiming that I molested Sadie when I haven't. So all these setups are like timing vehicles to smash into me, wording on vehicles, making the suggestion that you're being ripped to pieces and weaponed down, violently with at least 100 suggestions per day, every single day. And yesterday and today in particular has gone over that, just on that one specific suggestion. Also, they've been timing loud bikes and bikes angling it to erections, literally persistently. They've been making the suggestion or hinting my father, Mike, a lot more heavily in the last 4 days. But I can't say what the suggestion is because I don't want to cause offence, but there's no need for it. And giving the documentary a diagram, doing it in a far-fetched way as well, which is beyond belief. There hasn't been any sort of suggestions when it comes to my mum or my brother, but there seems to be a lot centred around my father at this minute in time. Anyway, let's get back to yesterday, because there was an old couple in their 70s sitting in like a poshish, well, not a posh car, but clean modern car, and they were like dressed tidily, they weren't. It's not like they weren't the thug type of people or the rough type. They were just normal, intelligent types of people. Maybe got a bit of money, I don't know. And they were having a coffee in the car, and they saw me as they passed, and they were having a little bit of an argument. I thought, this is interesting, because they were saying that they've messed it up. That's what they've done. They messed it up. He should have been with that girl months ago, or something like that. Lady, sorry, not girl. That is interesting that was said. And also, like I said, I went into a bit of an argument, but unfortunately they didn't give the name. So I'm assuming it's Ella or Lucy. Lucy, she reported me to the community place where she went most of the summer onwards last year to the first week of January this year, and then she didn't ever go again. Where, because I put some stuff on the internet saying that I like her and she's a good friend, and I sort of said something like, if she was single, then I might have sort of see if we could get the friendship going a bit further than what we did at Mind. But unfortunately, it got reported. Now, I don't 100% know whether it was her that done it, but the likelihood it would have been, because what happened was I located her Facebook channel. How I located it, I do not know, because I was just going for random people. I did actually initially look for her going back when I was at Bridport Library, going back to about September last year, and I didn't find it. And I just went looking for random friends, and then, and this was after Lucy stopped going to that community day. And how I managed to find her when she's only got 16 friends in her friends list is literally a 1 in a million chance, and I was absolutely shocked that I found her, to be fair. I thought I'd never find this person, because you couldn't type it in, you can't put the location in and type her name in, because it doesn't come up. And obviously her surname goes to the issue of when I mentioned the burning problem I get at my place, where you get cat claw scratch burning marks, struggling to breathe, the air that you breathe burning you, you've got itchy feet, you're feeling like you can't stand up, like your organs are failing in the body from whatever's causing that burning problem. Now that burning problem only seems to occur at my place, and it's been going on for 3 years. Well, Lucy's surname is similar to that, but I can't give the details of the surname or the spelling, because I would get in trouble. So, obviously, I did try and add her on Facebook. I did message her and said, do you still go to this place? But she deleted my friend request, and she blocked me from messaging her on her message on Facebook, and that's where I found out that she's turned against me and doesn't like me. Now I want to come to Ella now, because this Ella's a lot more serious, and she's a bit younger as well. But although she's a bit younger, the information that I'm about to mention is a lot more serious than ever. Because her name, in Christianity, or in religion, directly points to Jesus Christ. So Ella actually means the divine, the light, righteousness, goodness, near enough basically means Jesus Christ. A female name for Jesus Christ. That's what it basically means. And she did get on all right with me on that one day that I saw her. She said she went the week before, but I didn't see her the week before. Well, I played pool with her on the 14th of January at the community day. And I thought to myself, I've never had a young lady this friendly or like me in my whole life, of that sort of type. Now, she looked like, she's like the blondish kind type, but she had that difference to her. She's had that sort of more nicer sort of person. Someone that looked like she's adaptable to liking me, you know, sort of. And I have to admit, when I saw her, first impressions, I did actually like her. I picked up, I just thought, so sweet, you know, sort of. I really took to her, and I thought, she's a really decent person, you know. So anyway, on that day, I didn't want to sort of go into conversations like trying to get into like stronger friendship or anything like that. But I did try and offer her my Facebook account channel in case I didn't see her again, because obviously I like that person. Unfortunately, she wouldn't take those details, but she did say she was going to go there until I think it was May. I can't remember the month she said now, or March or May. I can't remember, or April. She said she was going to come each week, and but what happened was she stopped going. I didn't see her after that specific day on the 14th. But what I did find out later on is in February, just 2 weeks or so after I knew her from that one day, she got in a relationship with someone, and they deliberately made her pregnant. And she's got pregnancy tests, and they wanted to let me know. I can't say who told me this or how I found out, but they made it clear. I can't even say if it's person in authority either, but what's happened is they've done this on purpose to stop me going with her if I wanted to go with her. They wanted to mess it up, that's what they've done. And that's exactly what's happened. This is why I had to rely on this Olive reading from the psychic, but they've put that through as well. It's not something that you do when someone's 44 years of age and wants a younger person, because I can't take to my age group. And I'm not being funny, but they're twice the age of people that sexually abused me as a child, and I've not yet had sex properly in my whole life. And I want someone younger, and someone who's not a single mother, and I want someone with beautiful skin. I don't take to this sort of skin that's, not being funny, but even people that abused me as a child had like some form of smooth skin, you know, so you shouldn't be told to go with an old hag that you can't stand the look of, who's very grubby. And that's exactly what they're trying to force on me. And this is why I'm not happy. And if this Olive doesn't come by the 2nd of June, that's going to have to be replaced, because they are deliberately messing it up. So I'm not a happy person, to say the least. So just check the time a minute. So obviously a time allowed bites to erections, come to that now. But firstly I want to finish this Ella story, because there's just in the last month, this month, May, there's been another 100 tracks, roughly, in the jungle scene, all like top favourites, or the type of jungle that I listen to, unfolding with the name Ella, or the sound Ella occurring, like Ella. And it's in the choir courses of the deeper tracks in the jungle scene of 1993 and 1994 as well. It's right across the New Age meditation scene, which is another kind of music I like. It's in the dark ambient scene, it's right across Cryo Chamber Records. Oh, sorry about that. So I like the sort of the deep stuff, or the dark stuff is bringing out the name Ella. So what else was I going to say? Yeah, and I've had people in the streets thinking I'm with Ella. The media, not so much in the UK, but the media was connected to the internet through adverts or anything like that, which is based in other countries and not the UK. They've also got me down as being with Ella. And I can't get my hard drives posted to these organisations to confirm what's been going on or what they're doing behind my back. and making up stuff about me, claiming that I'm with Ella or whatever. And you've also got animal sounds, dog barks and cat meows going, Ella, like that. And dog going, Ella, or, you know, like that. You're getting animals actually saying, I'm with Ella as well, when I'm not. The problem is, they have deliberately made this person pregnant, and she's like one of the only she's a rare type that like me. 1 in a million. They're going to have to replace that, or this Olive. All the possibilities they've thrown through is going to have to be replaced. They just sometimes get sarcastic, these people. I'm not saying who, because I don't want to get in trouble. But they're just saying you have to wait until a specific person grows up. The specific person they're mentioning doesn't actually like me. And if I was to make the story a bit more clear, if I was to use a term, just to simplify it, for example, if she had a family, her mother's side of the family might not like me, where the father's side of the family does like me. But it could be vice versa, or whatever, I do not know. But this specific person that they're on about is through. And actually going to family now, there isn't actually anyone in my family. There isn't any relatives. There isn't any of their friends that they know, or anyone that can help me. As soon as they reach the age of 11, even the minors, or deeper on my side of the family, we're not quite family, but because they're all in relationships, and it's not a very good age when you're 44, coming up 45 at the end of this year. So that's all buggered up. So I'm not sure what's going to happen, but it's the fact that people out there, especially in Bridport, think I'm with this Ella. I've had to go into church visitor books and get my information out to tell people that I'm not with that specific person. And then you've got the other side of people that are mistaking me as Liam and Saven, mostly Saven. They're getting much more violent, especially in the last 5 weeks. Anything from smashing me in with a weapon to taking my life on sexuality, mistaking me as that person. And the threats are getting a lot nastier, apart from the last 3 days where we've had the heat wave. But as soon as this heat wave is over, all that trouble's going to start up again. It always does. And it's getting worse and worse. Each and every time I go to Aldi's, I get in trouble from person after person. At the moment, apart from the last 3 days, there's been over 50 threats per day, and each of those threats is mostly nasty. I've had to do a couple of police reports, in fact, because of how nasty it's got recently. So when it comes to this loud bike issue, this is very, very bad. They won't drop that at all. Wherever I walk about, whatever I do, they got to suggest the bike issue. Timing it to an erection, an itchy whatever, tingling whatever. Both ends of the from anything from the back end to the privates. And it's not a subject I like talking about, it's very personal. But when it gets out of order, and it annoys me that much, it has to be documented. So that's why I mention it. This Sadie business, they're going back to accusing me of raping Sadie, and making the suggestion that you're being weaponed down. Setups in particular is really digging on this subject at the moment. So for the last 3 or 4 days, there's been at least 100 suggestions per day to suggest Sadie, or to suggest brutal violence, murder, or anything like that, when I've never had sex with her. So today's one of the worstest days for it, and so was yesterday. As far as this action goes, I'm not sure if the government has put it through when it comes to the clairvoyant reading of Olive, but I have been diverted, and I have been forced to change directions or get on a different bus to go somewhere because of organised force against me in a corrupt way. So whatever's messed it up has got to be replaced, because the psychics didn't offer a very good future reading and if Olive didn't come in my life. Because they were certain, you see, they said it was set in stone. There was a previous psychic I saw called Sue Hudd at the Healing Weekend, going back many years ago. She said I was going to get with Lauren. There was a Lauren that worked in Tesco's, but every time I saw her, someone was coming down a shop aisle and getting aggressive, mistaking me as Sven. However, Lauren did smile at me, and she started to take conversation after seeing the CD case that I had on me. Now, I use that CD case to leave my writing pad on to write down problems when I go out. And on the CD case, it says, if there's anyone single, can you please get in touch, because I've never had anyone before, in a polite way. Now, I rarely carry that about anymore because people start on me if they see that. So I put a music track on there instead. Usually a music track that can be located to my YouTube channel. So if there's anyone single, they can help. But that's not usually the case. Right, as far as suggesting my father in setups lately, they're getting a little bit far-fetched with this, and I mean they're taking the biscuit. I mean, I won't say what it is and the suggestion that they're applying, but when it comes to Mike, my dad, they really are going really, really below the belt, well below the belt, with the suggestions that they're applying. Like I said, I'm not going to say what the suggestions are, but I'm not very happy about it. And this is every single day at the moment. Yeah, so as far as all the other problems go, the burning's still bad at my place. I'm being accused of banging, by the way. The neighbours are reporting me for banging, and I haven't been doing any banging at all. So I'm not very happy about that. So I've had to report this to the Chrysalis, which is the organisation that runs that specific place, because there has been banging in there, because I've heard it, but it's not by me. It's coming from underneath somewhere, and it's coming from a side. Usually when the banging's occurring underneath, there's banging aside. I won't give the neighbours' names, but what I will say is I'm not very happy about being accused of doing all this banging. But what I will admit is I have done banging in the past, but I have not done banging for about a year, if not longer, because there's no need to, because all the banging that was occurring, I was banging when I was getting pissed off of a situation. That's why I was banging. Now I haven't been banging in recent times, because there's been no reason for me to bang. And most of the time I have my windows open, because it's always hot in my place. But I do want to mention something. The outside threats are on the increase as well. It's getting nasty outside where I live. And it's getting quite aggressive as well. The last 3 days in particular, since we've been in the heat wave, it hasn't been too bad, but the overall threats and the aggression is the nasty it's been for outside anyway, outside my place, for about a year. So that's all on the increase. As far as people coughing and sneezing in my face is concerned, that's all on the increase. I'm having to put up with a person vaping at me, having to smell the vape of exhaled smoke. I don't mind smelling cigarettes. I don't mind smelling roll-ups. I don't mind smelling a pipe, you know, a cigar pipe. Or I don't mind the smell of weed either. But when it comes to this vape, it's very irritating. I just hate the fucking smell of it. And it's all exhaled as well. You know, you don't want to have to breathe in just exhale. Where with people that smoke, there's a mixture of the both. But yeah, I've planned to try and give up smoking, but I keep on failing because I get vodka. I drink a lot of vodka in the evenings, and then when I sort of get really, how do I put it, kind of pissed in the evenings, because that's all I have to look forward to in my whole life now, because my life is down the drain, because it's not getting better at the moment. Unless I get a partner or get enjoyment, sex, or whatever you want to call it, then I would start making changes in my life, and I would stop writing stuff down or photographing problems in the street or documenting or moaning about everything. But you've got to take into account all problems and all threats and all enemy control and all this force against me. And even the reason why I'm here is because of sexuality. So you've got to take into account all these problems that I've had in my life, and also you've got to take into account my penis is fixed to a loud bike. I can't get an erection anymore without a loud bike. So, and if I'm walking about, they're usually timing a lookalike to someone who sexually abused me as a child, tying to an erection as well, on top of the loud bike that occurs regardless. And it's fixed like a pulley. You just can't do nothing about it. Every erection is on the hit, tying to the split second, like it's been controlled, it's been computerised, they mapped it out to be on the nail all the fucking time. As far as dating goes, I don't even use dating anymore. The whole lot of them are scammers, and the ones that aren't, there's been a couple of more genuine ones recently, but they're moaning about the age gap, or getting the boyfriend to hold up a weapon, changing their profile picture, which has happened several times, or they're making the suggestion of a weapon. That's all I'm getting. And there was one person just 2 days ago that sent an email from a dating site I've not used for 3 months, and he says, I'm not here to date. I'm here to start a fight, and I'm picking you. And then it got nasty after that. So what I did is I gave him the Facebook channel to a disused Facebook account, so you can see what negativity people have put me through, and so that he gets an understanding that I'm not happy with him, and to make it look like that he's really, really sick because of all the things that I've been through. Yeah, so what else has happened? So yeah, sort of people have been telling me to pray, but I've turned against Jesus Christ in April, and Yahweh, who is the Father God, as it's known in Christianity. Yeah, I made a permanent fall, you see, because nobody's let me have anyone. I made that fall even before the psychic prediction of Olive, but you know, and I don't think it is possible that I can forgive, because Jesus Christ in his living life had sex with Mary Magdalene. I'm not quite sure if she was a teenager or just a girl, but Jesus Christ definitely had sex with her, but it's not something that you can put in the main Bible. Now, I'm not worshipping someone that's enjoyed sex when I've been sexually abused in every life, because going back to 20 years ago, I had a past life psychic reading, and I was told that in my past life I was sexually abused as a little girl many times and had it really, really bad, and then I died tragically in my early 20s, and I was told that I was a very unlucky lady in my previous life because I was the type all the men would have gone for in my previous life. In this life, obviously I'm male, and people keep on going on about this weighing business, or this Michael Jackson prostitute, as I name her, in 2018. But we're talking, these are sly ways of trying to make it sound like I've had sex. I've not had sex properly in my whole life. I'm not being funny, but at 44 years of age, don't fuck about stopping people from getting anyone. And I've got people accusing me of all these other things that I've never done, and people are believing it, or they're deliberately stopping me getting anyone, using that against me when there's nothing to do with me. So anyway, going back to the alcohol, it has increased, and my smoking's increased more as well. So I'm ended up coughing quite badly. I've got a bit of chest pain. I am trying to cut down on the smoking, but the thing is, being single, never having anyone, and worrying about my age, because people are not accepting the age gap in the UK like they used to, is making it very, very serious. I've even been told, I can't remember who said it now, but they told me they have to admit, at my age, it is getting serious. There was one person going back, is it last week, I can't remember, who said, this is when I was talking about Ella or something like that. This is an online person from America. Yeah, that's right. Just getting my bearings right, just so that I can remember what I can say. And it's a man. Yeah, it's a man I was speaking to. Some bloke, it's a friendship in America, which is connected to dating, but it's sort of like in the discussion between anyone that we sort of got a friendship, sort of what you call it. We're just quite an old chap. Between 2014 and 2019, he actually lived in the UK, and I was mentioning about the age gap, and I mentioned how old Ella was and how old I was, and he said it's a fine line, but he said you might just get away with going with her as long as you both consent to it. He said you're only just in the safety line, basically saying. But the problem is, at the time, he didn't realise that Ella's already got somebody. But I was discussing that because I was discussing people claiming that I'm with this specific young lady. They put all that through. They've stopped me seeing her. This is why she didn't go after that time, the 14th of January. And I'm not exactly sure why, but I was told just last week, after information was revealed, that it's because of how young she is, even though she's an adult, that they have had to stop her going, basically. And I thought, well, you just admitted it, haven't you? But if that's the case, and it falls into all my jungle tracks, and falls into the Christianity of making the suggestion of female Jesus Christ, and going around through media suggestions and claiming that I'm with her, they made the biggest mistake in history of messing up that specific person from going with me, if that's the way you want to look at it, on the principle of the suggestion of what I just mentioned. So there is another person as well, and she doesn't like me at all. I'm not exactly sure why, but there's a person called Chloe. I can't give surnames, obviously, but she goes to community day as well. But she fell out with me. I can't remember. She gave me a piece of paper saying, I don't want to be friends with you. And I was told by some person that you have a crush on me, and said, whether you do or whether you don't, I'm not interested, I don't give a fuck about you, and I don't want to ever be friends with you. So basically that's what it said. So when I saw her earlier today, obviously I ignored her, but she's managed to turn another person against me. It's not someone I fancy, but it's someone I like. And she usually plays pool with me when I visit that specific place. But because she's fallen out with me, that means that I can't play pool with her either. So when I was there wasting time until I could get on the Bridport bus, I was literally sitting in a chair doing absolutely nothing for over an hour, and not one single person came up to speak to me apart from the staff that worked there that said, all right, here, now and again. There's also a new person that's there. I wouldn't say she's bestest of looking types. And again, she's quite young, but not that young, so she's about 25. But obviously, she's got a ring on her finger, so she's going to be with someone. So there's a lot of mischief going on at the moment. But all people that I knew or was speaking to on Google Chat, or from dating, or from other places, I'm not speaking to a single person, and I've not spoken to a single person for over a week. It's dead. There's not a single person at all. And I've ended up having to delete on one specific day. I can't remember when it was just after that, about 2 weeks or 2 weeks ago. I can't remember whether I might have already mentioned it on another video. I'm not sure. There were 7 people that fell out with me in one day for no reason. But there's also, when all these people stopped speaking to me on dating and all the rest of it, it was at exactly the same time period as Russia were thinking about ending the war on Ukraine. Also, in the time period roughly when Russia were ending the war in Ukraine, is when all the nasty trouble and threats started to increase and get nasty again. So, yeah, things are not good. I'm just relying on that psychic reading with only like, what's the date today? 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. The first 2 days of June. Still 7 days. But that'd be the limit. Because it's not supposed to go into June. It's supposed to be before June. So you've got about, 3-4 days. And I don't have any faith in this at all. But, I don't pray to God or anybody like that. I pray to spirits, to get spiritual help. And I might sort of see what I can do there, because I did this recording a couple of days ago, but there's a few things I had to include because there's been a few changes and mess ups and stuff that I wanted to mention. And that bloke in that car, saying that I should be with, said that he's definitely should have been with her months ago, whatever it was he said that I mentioned earlier. Yeah, time to an itchy whatever. Yeah, they keep doing this. There's never a miss, and there's always time to the split second. There's never before is on the split second, split millisecond, and there's never usually more than 1 second after either. 2 seconds at a push, maybe 3 seconds, very rarely. Never before. Always timed on the hit. It's like they got it programmed. It's like they're programming my movement and programming everybody's movement outside on a bike to be controlled to my privates. I'm getting very fucked off with it. Anyway, so what I was saying the other day on the end of this video, this audio recording, is I was saying if there's anyone single who's a lot younger than me that isn't a single mother and has like a beautiful face and smooth skin, I was saying please get in touch. Because obviously I've never had anyone. These people prefer to go with someone that's violent, someone that's tough looking, someone that's got a hard accent. And the problem I have is people in my age group I don't take to the grubby type. But it's not the fact. I mean, there might be a few that are still sexy, smooth skin in my age group, but they're married and single and mothers. People don't, what's happening is all these people out there, as soon as they hit the age of 12 or 13, they're in a relationship, and once that relationship takes place, because obviously they're attracted to younger people, they don't split up. They don't split up whatsoever. They know that if they got that person, that person's clinged on to them. Because they know if they got a fit, so hot girl, that they're definitely not going to let that go. But the problem is, when they reach the age of consent, or just under the age of consent, they're made pregnant and they're made mothers, and it's too late. And they don't split up until that person goes into negative attraction years later. And then they interlink and get into another relationship with a younger person. But the problem is, it's not helpful for people like myself who have never had anyone. So what I'm looking for is a friendly person. I don't want to lay about. I want someone who likes nature. I like someone that does things. Likes to go out at least once a day if possible. I'm not an indoor person. Someone that likes music, someone that likes new age, mystical things, even in walks, watching stuff like wildlife on telly, storm chasers, police, camera action, police chases, ice road truckers, Deadliest Catch, Most Haunted. I don't mind certain game shows on telly. I don't mind watching wrestling. If you're into that sort of stuff, I'm not a sports person, no. Then please get in touch. If I do get anyone, you will be looked after. You won't be hurt. I'd never cheat, and I would never hurt that person. So, and I do mean this. So, if there is anyone that's single and they're in the UK, then yeah, please get in touch, because I'm literally powerless to do anything because everyone's too stupid out there today. I mean, I don't mind going with a foreigner, but you're going to have to pay the costs because I don't have that much money. If you can do so much with the costs, I can help out when you get to this side of the country, you know, this side of the world, to move into the UK. But you're going to have to do the main part of the costs, and then I'll guide you and take you from my end to where I live, sort of thing. To be fair, it might be easier if there was someone that's British that could do the favour for me. I'm not really too bothered what the age is. It's more a case, the thing is, a lot of people in my age group, they're not just mothers or going into negative attraction, because what happens is when someone's been made pregnant, something alters the body or does something to the woman, and it causes some people to go into negative attraction once they've had a baby. Obviously Asians and Indians, they seem to hold out that cleaner appearance look and that smoother skin attraction to an older age than they do in the UK, but in the UK they just seem to lose it. As soon as they hit the age of around about, 36, they literally go into negative attraction, and I do not know why that is. If you go back to the 1990s, I knew people in their 40s or even 50, which I could fancy as a 12-year-old boy. So, you know, nowadays I can't, because literally everyone you see just go into that sort of munter-looking attraction. I don't know what the cause of it, whether their lifestyle, because they take drugs, because I don't know what's causing it. But many people are obese and they're just gone into, and they just look like negative attraction today. Just don't understand it. But so yeah, I'm looking for, apart from those in Glastonbury, some of those in Glastonbury, which is one of these sort of new age places in the UK where people go, sort of religious type place. They, I have to admit, some of those still hold their age. You know, that's how people used to look, and they sort of, but then again, they look after themselves, they eat healthy, and all the rest of it. I mean, even though some of those that smoke or drink alcohol, even they got like clean appearance in my age group. But the problem is, like I said, they're all mothers. That's the problem. That's why I need someone to do that favour for me. So if there's anyone single, comment in the comments box or locate my Facebook channel. I don't have a smartphone, you see. I use a laptop, and the reason I don't have a smartphone is because it doesn't pay off to pay for extra devices or internet or whatever, when I'd never use it when I go out anyway, because of all this force and all this trouble that's in my path every time I go out. Out of all the places I go, Bridport is one of the places where I don't get as much trouble as areas where I sort of live in Somerset. That's why I come to Bridport on a regular basis, because I tend to find there's a bit more mixed people. It's not all one-sided. Obviously there's days that are bad, there are days that are good, and there are days that are in between. You get that with every place. But my area in particular, especially Somerset, like Taunton, Weston-super-Mare, Bridgewater, Burnham-on-Sea, Highbridge, Street, Glastonbury, Wells, Somerton, Langport, North Peverton, Willavington, you know, all those sorts of areas. I can't even go in that area anymore, because every time I go there I get trouble. It's just too chancy. In some ways I get a bit nervous going to any of these places. When I use a street bus to go to Glastonbury or Wells, it goes to Bristol now, they extended the route. I have been to Bristol in the past, but not for about a decade. Believe it or not, Bristol's not one of those places I really get in trouble, to be fair. Obviously when the Cevennes threat came in, from 2017 or whatever year it was it came in, obviously I had a bit of trouble on the 2 occasions I went to Bristol. But before that time, when I was visiting Bristol in the past, I never had any problems at all, or it's just very rare. But Yeah, so I'm willing to relocate to a different part of the country, depending on where it is, if there is a single lady that's interested and wants to contact me on this recording. But I only go for specific types. You know, I don't take to the rough skin type, you know, if you get what I'm saying. But just the other week, I was told by a teenage couple with a pushchair that you're sad if you don't go with anyone over the age of 40, and basically saying that's the age you've got to be when you first have sex if you haven't had anyone before. After reading the CD that I was carrying at the time, that I write stuff down on, saying that I've not had anyone in my whole life. And yeah, this teenage couple, especially the lady, who's only about, 19, 18, who's pushing a pushchair with a roughneck boyfriend about the same age, has told me that anyone that has, in your age group, that has sex under 40 is a sick cunt, basically, and saying that, saying you're supposed to lose virginity at someone at age 40 when you reach your 40s, you're spastic and stuff like that. And I thought to myself, well, if you're saying that, anyone that's had sex under the age of 40 in the world for the first time in their life, that makes them a paedophile, does it? Because that's what she's saying. And she's got a nerve to say that because she's had sex because she's had a baby. And that's another thing in threats. Hasn't happened in the last 3 or 4 days, but people are saying you have to wear a johnny or wear a condom if you have sex. Well, nobody else does, do they? And it takes the pleasure away as well, because obviously, why should you have to wear a condom if you've not had anyone in your whole life? Many people have actually mentioned that. It takes the pleasure away, especially on these dating sites. And most people say they don't use a condom. And if you look at people, one person going back, was it last year, late last year, she was only 20 years of age, and she said she's had sex with at least 100 different men and had sex over 500 times without a condom on. So, whether that's true or not, I do not know, because there's so many scammers on there. But if it is true, look at the diseases they're going to have in my age group. So it just says it all, doesn't it? So anyway, I'm looking for a clean person. Someone that's not got that serious accent. I don't like that accent of people that are very social, got that sort of high standard to it, or I've been in many relationship attitude sort of accents. I just don't want a woman like that. Or someone that moves their lip to one side, posing as if they're a mother, you know, or boast in a like social way, in a way. I just don't want that sort of person. And the majority of those types of people, anyway, are the ones I don't take to. All the ones I take to are like the friendly, calm type accent. For example, Ella that I spoke to at Mind, that'd be someone I could adjust to and be happy with for the type of person, regardless of the sort of age or anything like that. But like I said, they've taken that away from me and they've made her pregnant, and it's too late, and it's too late to do anything, because I'm not going to go with someone else's mistakes, because I've had people on dating going back some years ago now, and they were saying that their boyfriend doesn't want me around their child, or you get or he'll smash you in, or whatever, or he'll take you out with a weapon. And I thought to myself, I don't want a single mother anyway. And I thought to myself, well, if that's the case, you know, you just can't. Actually, I was speaking to someone in America, I think it's 2 or 3 weeks ago, I can't remember how long it was now, and she was saying with the stuff that you posted on Facebook, because I was putting a lot of negative stuff, and I messaged her some private stuff in the message box of all this trouble I get, she did actually say, you shouldn't have to go with a single mother if you don't want to. Everyone is entitled to someone that they fancy and someone that they like. And she also said that, to be honest, if you're being accused of all this and all that, it's not going to be safe for you to go around with someone else's child, because people start on you, saying you really do need to find a person, and saying what you put in your status is spot on. And she said there's nothing wrong with what you're putting. This is an American lady that put this, but obviously she can't help me because she's in America. But she did tell me everything that I was speaking to her about. I was saying that people in the UK moan about it, or they start a row over it, or whatever. And she said that just doesn't make sense, and she doesn't know why that's happening. And I showed her some evidence of some, that I photographed from various places on the internet of replies that I've had, and she was absolutely shocked with the replies and what I messaged. When it comes to people in the UK and the age gap, she was shocked about that as well. She said it's love that counts. At the end of the day, if you're attracted to each other and you really like each other, it doesn't matter what the age is, as long as it's legal age of consent. But in the UK it's a lot different. I don't know whether it's just this part of the country or the whole country in general, but it never used to be like this. And and the problem is, in other countries, the age of consent is a lot lower than what it is in the UK. So it's scheduled at 16 in the UK, but they recommend 18 as being a proper adult because 16 people are still at school. However, back in the days of the 1990s, people were going with 15-year-olds, even people in my age group or older. Obviously, a lot of it's not full relationships, or it's only short term, but they get what they want, or they got what they wanted. But obviously back in those days I didn't know anybody, and I was scared to socialise because people were quite nasty in those days, going around with glass bottles, smashing it across people's heads, threatening people with weapons, hard talking with each other, getting pilled up every weekend, going to happy hardcore raves and drinking cider and starting fights on anyone that they see walking down the path. And that's why I couldn't socialise back in those days. And the CCTV issue around that area, you had less of that as well, and it wasn't as safe, and people were a lot more different. The only thing that was flexible back in those days was people would allow the age gaps, as I just mentioned. But it's not really a case of the age, it's a case of what someone looks like and if I like that person or fancy them or not. But the problem is, relying on Flo or Olive with only 4 days left, it's not good at all, is it? Because this is going to have to be replaced, because I'm pretty sure it's through. But, nothing I can do about it, is there? I'm glad it's clouded over, because there's a specific photograph I wanted to take, and I've been waiting all day because I said there's going to be a bit of cloud, but I can't do it now because I'm getting last bus home. But maybe I'll have to try tomorrow. There's like a little signpost, got a load of flowers next to it. It looks really beautiful, and I'm going to try and get a picture before the flowers all die off. But I might have to do that tomorrow. I pretty much go Bridport most days of the week anyway, because it's one of the only places where people don't give me a hard time most days. Because in Yeovil, I'm getting at the moment, it's just threats are off the scale. They keep mistaking me as this one person called Sven, and each and every threat's on sexuality. And at the moment, it seems to be weaponing you down or shooting you dead. So, and some of it's getting aggressive, where people are actually trying to lead you onto a fight. Most of these people that do this are like those that think they're hard, or those that like boxing, or those that like football, or the younger generation that think they're do-gooders, or got that sort of I'm Mr. Know-all, but of hard build, or those that like fighting, or into fighting, or doing gym in their bedroom, or whatever. There's all those types of people, and all those bearded type people that listen to hip-hop music, talk in that accent where they say something like, I'm going to bash them in, and it's, instead of saying I'm going to bash them in, they sort of bring out that R in the accent. So those are the types of people that are starting on me. Before when the Sven fact came in, basically, I never had this these types of people in my direction. It was extremely rare to get that type. I mean, I know hard people, you know, sort of people with a sort of a rough accent, but it's more like the druggy sort of rough accent, or the sort of, although not all of them like me, obviously, but there is a percentage of those types of people that get on with me. And I do speak to those types of people. They're not all that type of people, but, you know, they're sort of a different type of hard accent. It's not that modern, where it's different. But anyway, I'm going to end this recording. And going back to what I was saying earlier, if there's a sexy lady that's younger than me, that's not a parent, it's going to have to be younger, because everyone's parents in my age group. And obviously I prefer someone younger anyway, because I've never had anyone. It's got to be someone that's nice, someone that's genuinely wanting a proper relationship. Then please get in touch, yeah? And contact me on the details, preferably on Facebook, because I don't have QR codes. I can't scan them, you see, to open up WhatsApp or Zangi or whatever it is you use, Telegram, because you need a smartphone. You can't do it on a laptop. It doesn't have that capability, because the phone I use is just a cell phone. It's not an internet. It's just a normal way you receive texts and calls, and that's it. It's not like one of those internet phones where you've got everything on it. Maybe I'll consider getting one, but not until I get a girlfriend. I'll leave it there on this recording.